Okay, first thing I have to do here, I've got algebraic fractions, and I can think here of the top as just being 8 and then x minus 3 multiplied by another x minus 3. On the bottom, I've got 4 multiplied by that bracket, again, x minus 3. And just by cancelling, because I can see that these are all just multiplied together, there's a multiplication sign there, a multiplication sign there, a multiplication sign there. I can first of all cancel the 8 with the 4, well that just becomes 1 and 2, and I can also cancel one of those x minus 3's with an x minus 3 on the bottom. So I'm left with, on the top, just, where are we, 2 brackets x minus 3, and on the bottom, nothing. So it's just 2 brackets x minus 3. Okay, part B, factorising a squared minus 144. Factorise, remember, means put in the brackets. It looks as though you can't factorise this because there's no common factor. But in fact, this is the type of factorisation which we call the difference of two squares, where you can factorise to 2 brackets in which if you have 2 terms where one of them is something squared, well, this is a squared, and 144 you can see is 12 squared. So if you like, this is the same as a squared minus 12 squared. The 2 brackets will always be identical, except for the fact that in one of them you'll have a plus, and the other one you'll have a minus. So I can put a minus there and a plus there. It doesn't matter which way round those two go. Now you can see when I remove the brackets, I'm going to do a times a, which is a squared. The outer 2 give me plus 12a. The inner 2 give me minus 12a, so the a term in the middle disappears, and then minus 12 times minus 12 is 144. So if I remove those, you can see that the 2 brackets there are the same as a squared minus 144. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Here we're trying to make q the subject of the formula p minus the square root of q equals, p equals the square root of q minus 5r. First thing I'm going to do, I'm trying to get q alone on the right-hand side. I'm going to add 5r to both sides. The left-hand side becomes then p add 5r, and the right-hand side is still the square root of q. If I want to get q alone, then I need to do the opposite of square rooting, which is to square both sides. So if I square the square root of q, that just leaves me with q. On the right-hand side, though, I need to be careful how I write this. I'm going to put the p plus 5r in a bracket when I square it, and that is not the same as p squared plus 25r squared. If you wanted to, you could remove the bracket. You'd be wasting your time, but you could do it if you wanted to. But if you removed it, you would have to do it correctly by writing p plus 5r multiplied by another p plus 5r. And if you remove the brackets there, you would get p squared plus 10pr plus 25r squared. Like I said, though, there's no need to do all of that. This is perfectly acceptable as an answer, although technically you should put the q on the left-hand side and make it q equals p plus 5r squared. Okay, last one here, we need to basically solve the equation, in other words, find y. The first thing I'm going to do is clear the fractions by multiplying both sides by the denominator on the left there. Looking at the left-hand side, if I multiply by y minus 4, I'm just left with 4, because effectively I've got 4 divided by y minus 4, and then multiplied by the y minus 4. The y minus 4's disappear. On the right-hand side, though, I'm multiplying by y minus 4, and I get that. Now I've got two choices here. I can either, at this stage, divide both sides by 5. Now if I divide both sides by 5, the left-hand side becomes 4/5. The right-hand side is then just y minus 4. If I then add 4 to both sides, I end up with 4/5 plus 4 is equal to y. In other words, y is equal to 4 and 4/5. The alternative is to remove the brackets on the right-hand side. So I'll leave the left-hand side alone for now. Removing the brackets, I get 5y minus 5/4, which is 20. If I now add 20 onto both sides, the left-hand side becomes 24, and the right-hand side is 5y. I'm now going to divide both sides by 5, and I get y is equal to 24 divided by 5. If I work that out, though, 24 divided by 5 is, again, 4 and 4/5. or you could have either of those as 4.8.